大家好, Jerry teaches Chinese here. So how do you say cab? You arrive in China at the airport. Unless you know public transit or someone's picking you up or you want to hitchhike, got to call a cab, right? So the word for cab, there's two. One is a formal one, which is 出租车. 出租车. 出租车 literally means rental car or temporary rental car. 出租车. So 出租车, it's kind of a mouthful, but 出租车, that is a taxi. Now, there's a very popular app in China called Didi, and before Didi even came out, there were local regional dialects like my regional dialect that would say di. So you could say Didi, everyone will know you're talking about a rental car, but a lot of times a Didi is more hailing from an app. So if you really just want to talk about a real taxi, like the yellow type of taxi, the green type of taxi, you will get 出租车. Now, how do you say to hail a taxi, right? It's one thing to be able to say taxi, but how do you say hail a taxi? Quickest way is to say 打车. 打车. 打, for those of you who know Chinese, usually means hit. But, for example, you can use 打 to mean like call, like 打电话, right? So, that's more along the lines of what 打车 means. It's like you call a taxi. You could also say 叫车. 叫 means calling. So, calling like screaming, yelling, that type of calling. So, 车, of course, is a car. So, 打车, call a car, or 叫车, speak or yell for a car. Those are the two main ways. You could also say 打的, as in use the app, but in regional dialects, you would just say 打的 before there was ever smartphones. People knew you were talking about taxis. So 打的, 打车. So now you can get out of the airport with no trouble. Now, how do we talk about money and all that, right? That's something for another lesson. Okay, Jerry teaches Chinese out.